In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Hello again. Yesterday we saw that Jesus got away by himself and prayed all night long. Oh, Jesus said, I only do what I see the Father do. I only say what I hear the Father say. How could he know what the Father was doing and saying? Well, because he spent time with the Father. And so he had peace. He had peace in picking the 12. He had peace in where he went to preach. And he had peace about going to the cross. Oh, in the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, I am so grieved, even to the point of death. It said that he was praying so hard that his sweat was like blood. See, there was no peace in that, but he stayed before the Father until the Father gave him peace about it, because you'll remember as he was on trial before the Sanhedrin and as he was on trial before Pilate, he didn't say a word. He was full of peace in everything he did leading up to the cross because he spent time with the Father. And the promise is, when you go to him with whatever anxiety you may have, you will get the peace of God to guard your heart and your mind. And so Jesus had that in everything that he did. Well, we're going to see him pick the 12 right now. Yesterday, it was at this time that he went off to the mountain to pray, and he spent the whole night in prayer to God. And so he came down from the mountain, and when day came, he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also named as apostles. Well, you probably haven't heard that talked about. Jesus had many more disciples than just the 12. But he pulled 12 of them out to be his messengers, to be his apostles, to spread the word, to be his missionaries. That's what it amounts to. We're in verse 14. Here they are. Simon, whom he also named Peter, and Andrew his brother, James and John, Philip and Bartholomew, Matthew and Thomas, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon, who was called the Zealot, Judas the son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. Jesus came down with them and stood in a level place, and there was a large crowd of his disciples. See, he had many disciples, but he pulled 12 out to specifically be his messengers, and a great throng of people from all Judea and Jerusalem and the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon, who had come to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. Those who were troubled with unclean spirits were also being cured. And all the people were trying to touch Jesus, for power was coming from him and healing them all. Well, we could talk about the healing because Jesus healed all day long, but he only did what he saw the Father do. See, it's the Father's will that you be healed. But today I want to focus on the disciples. Go with me to Mark, and it's in chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. We see the same story that we just read in Luke. He went up on the mountain and summoned those whom he himself wanted, and they came to him. He called his disciples, and he appointed 12. He pulled 12 out of the group so that they would be with him and so that he could send them out to preach. He would make them apostles. They would preach his message of the kingdom, but he pulled them out, are you listening? So that they would be with him. The disciples were picked so that they could be with Jesus in everything that he did, so that they could carry the love of God, the message of God, the freedom that comes from the gospel that Jesus preached and performed so that we could be free from any sin. Well, do you want to be a disciple of Jesus? Behold, the disciples of Jesus are those who are with him. So God bless you as you spend your day with Jesus today by His Holy Spirit, that you might grow into deeper relationship with Him as His disciple. I look forward to being with you tomorrow, and I will see you then.
Jesus, give me Jesus.